Hey, what's up, everybody? We've been sitting here hanging out, watching the horses. They actually just took off. They went around that bend over there where all the bushes are. And little Meadow here was having fun. She was running around with them. You can see how her feet are all wet from running through the river and all that stuff. But she's made friends with with one of the horses. There's this horse that's a little bit lighter color. Here, hang on, I'm gonna grab a towel here. A little bit lighter color. And it it like ran over to Meadow yesterday when she came over um, to basically greet them to camp or whatever. They were coming through the meadow behind us here, and they were walking from the pine forest into the meadow over to the river. They were coming up, so my Meadow ran over to them. And she was running back and forth, and tail was going on and stuff. And at first they were kind of apprehensive, and then they got to the point they're like, oh, she's just a puppy and wants to play. And so one of the horses came out and was running back and forth with her and all that stuff, and they were kind of playing, and I got that on film, which was cool. And then every time that Meadow would show like walking away or no interest, then the horse would just put its tail up in the air and walk the other distance, and then Meadow would start chasing her again and stuff like that. So it was really cool to see that. And then the other morning too, I think I mentioned it on I don't think I mentioned it on here, but on a Facebook post. Oh, hey, what's good morning, Zoe. We had elk and horses grazing in the same meadow at the same time, right next to each other, which was really cool. Greg, what's going on, brother? And Smiler, how's it going? Outdoor Adventures, good morning as well. And which I thought was really cool to see that. You know, like literally there was this elk, and I've got a picture of it. It's really far away, so I don't know if if you could really see it that well or not. But it's like there's an elk that's grazing, and literally like 5 feet away is a horse that's grazing. It's cool to see the two of them like interact. So, all right, we got Naj in the house. We got 13 Kabir. We got Nick. We got Lee. We got Vivian. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This was kind of like an impromptu live. I was just sitting here, and like literally the river is right here. You know, got my camp right here, and it's been going really good. We've been having a good time. Little Meadow's been doing a lot better over here, and hasn't really been getting into a bunch of gunky stuff. I think that other site maybe just has a lot of stuff that she could possibly get into. Also, too, the mud over there is really stinky. It's one of those places to where there's kind of like I don't know if it's biological activity or whatever, but you know the mud gets kind of a really bad odor to it, kind of more of like a putrid smell, like a bog smell. And so that's really hard to get off a dog's coat. Sierra got into that a couple of times, and I know where to go in order to um, you know have it to where she won't have that going forward. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna probably pack up either. Let's see, what do you got there? Let me see. What is this? No, no, no. You don't want to eat that. I don't know what that is. Nope. Um, yeah, Lee, the elk and horses grazing together. It was so cool. That's how we woke up. Let's see, was it yesterday morning or the morning before? It was either yesterday morning or the morning before. We woke up here, and it was we'd saw a bunch of elk the night before, like at sundown, because like the way that the sun goes down over there, and so there's this huge, vast meadow that they can come into as the sun's going down and kind of graze and all that stuff. And so far, we've seen deer, elk, and then obviously the horses, and then that's about it. I haven't really seen anything else. I mean, I haven't seen any black bear, even though they're up here. Haven't seen any mountain lion or anything like that. They kind of don't come out in these big old meadows. I mean, I guess a black bear would, but the mountain lions wouldn't. So, but it's been awesome up here. The temperatures have been really nice. We are getting a little bit of a heat wave today, though. It's supposed to get up to 87 at camp, which is hot. So that's why I was considering taking off, because I do need to take the Tundra in and get it fixed, and then go from there. Nausea, that Bambi tastes good. Yeah, that's one thing I want to get into also, is I want to get into hunting and get my own food. Because I like to fish and I love eating trout, and then it'd be cool if I was able to get an elk or something like that, and then I have meat for lifetime, really. Those animals are so big. You know what was interesting too is when the elk were feeding next to the horses, it made me appreciate just how big horses are, because the elk are big. You see an elk compared to a deer, and you're like, wow, there's a huge difference. And then when those elk were grazing, and granted it was a female elk, so it wasn't as big as some of the males can get, but when it was right next to the horse, I was like, wow, that horse is way bigger than an elk. Look at Meadow. Let's check this out. What are you doing there, girl? Playing with your pet rock? That's the rock that I use to nail in all the stakes around here, and she just plays with it nonstop here at camp. What I love about her is that even if she's on leash like this, like she doesn't really care. She just as long as she's like close to me, and then she just plays the whole time and just does her little puppy thing, which is awesome. So what's up, Blue Sky Rez? How's it going? Wonderful to catch the live chat again. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, man. Yeah, we're in a great area here. Let me show you all what's going on. I'm gonna show you a little bit around camp. So what's nice is we've got all these columbines that have been blooming around camp here. So it's cool to see those. I love those columbines. That's a really pretty, pretty flower, you know, for the high country. And for those that want to see them close up, we'll go over here. I'm sure this signal will hold. You can see these close up and see what they look like. It's a really kind of fragile looking flower, and really cool looking, real delicate looking. And they close up at night and they open up again in the morning time. So that's a cool high altitude flower. And then here's looking back at the river. So that's the spot that I've been trying to hit. What's up, Shadows Daily Adventures? How's it going? Hector, what's going on? Grant, yeah, Grow Tree, what's going on? Brandon, how's it going, brother? That's the spot I've been trying to hit nonstop, and there are big trout right in there. There's a huge cavity that goes down like 4 or 5 feet. It falls off this thing here, and there's a big hole right there. And I was checking it out because I was thinking, I'm like, well, maybe that's where I'll do my morning gold plunge, you know. And then I saw like these big shadows in there. I thought, oh no, there's trout in there. And so the first cast that I did, I got a huge rise and a big old hit, but I didn't set the hook because I'm using barbless hooks. It's harder to catch them, but it requires more. A little bit more skill, but yeah, it's it's been awesome out here. I just wish I could catch those trout because they're big. I mean, they're probably a good. I saw one in there. I was like, man, that's got to be like an 18-incher. So what I may do is I may try to go around the backside and drop a GoPro in there, so at least we can see them. And then Outdoor Adventures, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I don't know if you were talking to me or Grow Tree Organics, so he's got a great channel as well. But I may drop a GoPro behind it because they're waterproof, and then we'll see if we can get them on film, because that's a nice little pocket right there. And then the other spot, it's okay, girl, just relax. She's kind of freaking out a little bit. You're okay, girl. Don't worry. We're just showing them where we've been fishing, okay? Where you've been running around. The other spot where I've been getting fish is in that stretch right there, that little on the right side. It's actually a little bit of a deeper channel right on this side, and I've been getting brown trout in there, and it's been going good over here. It's been really nice. I mean, it's super peaceful, you know. There's no one driving by at all. And I found this site because I was going to a spot that's considered kind of a little bit more off the beaten path to fish on this river, and I wouldn't be on the river like I am now. I mean, to have this right here, I mean, that's awesome, you know. But it was close. I would be close to the river, but I wouldn't be. Hey, stop! Come on, pumpkin! Don't. She keeps on jumping up with all the mud on her and all that stuff. So here, hang on a second. We had a question. Grow Tree Organics, what's the largest trout you caught so far? I got a 2-footer, and I don't know how many pounds it was, but it was a 2-footer that was in Colorado. It was at this place called Hancock Lakes that fishes really good, and then I got a bigger fish. I didn't measure this one, but I had to guess it was probably like 26 inches, because you can kind of guess based off the fish Chinkara rod, because each section here, you can measure the sections, and you can say, okay, well, you can put your fish up to it and kind of see. And that one was huge. It was the fattest fish I've ever caught. I mean, it was amazing that I was able to get it in with the Chinkara rod. And it was so big that I tried to put my hands around it to pick it up, you know, and show it, and I couldn't do it because it was so fat. It kept on slipping out of my hands because it was so big. And so it's pretty awesome. And I love trout. I mean, trout fishing is so much fun. That's beautiful looking fish, especially when you get like a brown or a brook or like a cutthroat when it's like spawning season when the colors are insane. It's just amazing. So retired inspired. How's it going, man? Thanks for tuning in. See, Naj, you're saying encroach your gangs. That's funny. I get a ruler tattoo with the ruler measurements. That'd be hilarious. Do it on my arm right here. Just put the fish right up to my arm. That'd be hilarious. And then Naj, do I catch and release or do I keep it? Well, most times catch and release. You know, it's just I like to look at the fish and catch the fish, and I think it's fun. But there are times where if I'm gone on a trip for a while and say I'm getting low on a meat source, then I'll go fish and I'll keep the fish, for cooking up. And what I like to do, the way I like to cook them, there's two ways I like to cook them. One is you can do simple honey and lemon. And then, so what you do is, trout are really easy to process. You just go from like their butt up to where their gills are. You just cut the slit open in the middle and just remove all the guts. And it's all self-contained in that. And then there's like a bloodline, that like a real dark blood that's along their spine. So there's a little membrane. You cut that and then just wash it out, and you're good to go. And you can start cooking them. And so I'll do olive oil on the trout, and then on the inside of it, I'll stuff it with lemons. Oh, I'll put honey first, and then I'll stuff it with organic lemons and kind of squeeze them a little bit, so you get some of that lemon juice already out of the slices of lemon, and then bake it for like you bake it until the meat is firm, but I would say you probably 18 to 22 minutes on about, I don't know, 375, 400 degrees, I think is what it is. So grow tree organics. I've not done any beer battering, but I definitely would look into that in the future for sure. That sounds good. So, but also the other way that I do fish is I will take the head and I'll cut the head off and then cut the tail off, and then so you got this big old fillet, and then take that whole fillet and really cover it in a lot of olive oil, and then make like a shake bag, where you have a plastic bag and I'll put in flour, cornmeal, salt and pepper, and then cayenne, and then shake it up like crazy. Put the fish in there after you put all the olive oil on it and shake it up like crazy, and then fry that. And man, I'll tell you what, that turns out so good. It's amazing how good that is. And you just fry it up until it's firm, and then take it off and enjoy it. And we did that. My buddy Brad from Sunroamer Overland no, it was 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Two falls ago. So like a year and a half ago, I guess. We were up in Colorado, and I took him up to Hancock Lakes, and I landed a monster trout. And so we did the whole frying it up in the pan with the flour and cornbread and all that stuff. Man, that was the best meal. And then he had mashed potatoes, so he made up like some sour cream mashed potatoes. And here we are, like 11,000 feet in Colorado, and at the end of a 4x4 trail, having like this amazing meal that was just the best on the planet. So yeah, smoked trout's amazing. I used to do that with brook trout. I take them and smoke them for about 45 minutes, and then the skin on the brook trout peels up, and it's really awesome. You can pull that off, and then you like eat it like a potato chip. So all right. Okay, cool. Oh, saving history. That's good to know. Thanks, man. So those are the ways I like to cook trout, and then you just pair it with like some fruit or something like that, and it's amazing dinner. And then I want to get some fresh trout from a stream, like some wild-born trout. I don't want to do any of the farm raised trout, because those have like, if you look at the way the meat is in it when you open them up, the normal trout have like a pink meat, and it's got the normal striation and all that stuff, and it looks all healthy. And the farm raised ones, a lot of those, it has like this gray, kind of like sickly looking meat, and it tastes different, I think. And I don't think the nutritional value is even remotely on the same level. Because you have to think, like, those fish start out, they're stressed, unless it's like a special fish like they do for like the Gila trout or like the Apache trout. Those don't get stressed as much because there aren't as many fish into the like the tanks. But yeah, the grow tree organic, like the stress fish, like especially like the rainbow trout, the reason why they look so gnarly when they're farm raised is because they're raised under really harsh conditions, and they're not fed properly. A lot of them die their first winter because they don't know how to hunt properly. because they were farm raised, and so they get like these food just kind of dispersed in the water periodically throughout the day. And so that's the problem with the farm raised ones. But I do understand why they do that. A lot of places do that, just to keep fisheries alive and stuff like that for like sport fishing, and I get it. But it's just cool when you get to catch like the stream born ones, because like let me show you here. Let's see. Rich here again. It's just like agriculture to pump them up. Yeah. Let's see here. Let me show you guys. I was going to show you the fish that I caught. So this is like a stream born one. This is the difference between, normal fish and then a stream born. Wait a minute. Where's that? There it is. So here's the one I just caught the other day. So you can see how the coloring's really nice. The fins have dots on it, everything. The fish looks normal. It's like really, it's actually kind of a little bit more golden on the bottom than I thought. This is a brown trout, but I just caught this one here on just a little fly. And so that's like a stream bred or a stream born trout. And then, you contrast that with like a farm raised rainbow trout, which has like real muted colors and everything. And it's just different, and it's just because of how they started out, So it definitely makes an impact on how let's see, outdoor adventures. Does the stream size keep these trout so small? No, there's actually really big ones in here. And in Colorado, I know of some place. Oh, what's up? We got somebody tuning in from Prescott. Geraldine, what's going on? No, I've actually, there's some places in Colorado where literally like the stream is like as wide as my topper here, and you catch monster trout, like monster trout. So I think it just depends on like, how much food's available in the water. Also, like how often is it fished? Like a lot of these places that you wouldn't think fish amazingly well, and they're overlooked. Like there's this one place close to Leadville that's next to this like rock processing place. So you do have to put up with the noise from like, the heavy machinery processing rocks and stuff like that. Because I think it's like a quarry for something. But there's a stream that's in front of it, and I'm not kidding you. You go there and you hit it, and you catch huge, like brook trout and brown trout in there. I mean, big ones. So, it's amazing. Just kind of what sort of water can hold different stuff. But generally speaking, smaller streams do have smaller trout. Generally speaking, because there's not as much food as like a big lake or something like that. But you get surprised every once in a while. So. All right, Naj, thanks for tuning in, man. All right, let's see what else we got here. We had a couple things. Let's see. Cool. Okay, everybody's saying healthy looking trout. Oh, we got James in the house. What's going on, James? How you doing, man? All right, we got good afternoon from Santa Fe. Right on. I'll be in Flagstaff next month. Oh, cool, man. Where are you going in Flagstaff? We're probably going to be in Colorado. So, Geraldine, no, I'm in Arizona. I'm near the New Mexico border. So this is a little stream here that is spring fed and crystal clear water, real nice healthy trout population. There's Apache trout further upstream. This section has brown trout. Down further south of here, or further downstream of here, there's brown trout and rainbow trout, and then even more downstream from that is smallmouth bass. So this river kind of it starts from really high elevation and goes down to a low elevation. I think it goes down like 4,000 feet in elevation by the time it gets down in like a desert oasis area. So it's kind of neat how, both northern Arizona and northern New Mexico have these really neat areas like this for fishing. And you wouldn't think, you think northern Arizona, and you don't think something like this. So Steel Mill, thanks for taking on this series. Oh yeah, you bet. It's really nice up here, and what's nice too is there's just not a lot of people rolling around. I think the one reason is pretty remote. There's not a lot of towns nearby, and then number two, I think that a lot of people, when especially if they're not from the area, they don't assume this stuff is here, because when you hear Arizona, you think like Phoenix. You think like desert and super hot weather and dry and, not a lot of water. But then you come up over here and it's like, yeah, there's creeks all over the place. They're really pretty, and it's awesome. And yeah, grow tree organics. So that's why the tribes lived in the Four Corners area. And also too, I think back then, before the big drought happened in the latter 1200s, I think there was a lot more water. The water resources weren't as stressed as they are now. There's a lot more people around, and so all the aquifers were full. I bet a lot of the washes, like outside of Prescott, there's this place called Mint Wash. Well, Mint Wash used to be a river. It used to run full time. Back in the diaries from the 1900s of the people that lived along there were like, oh no, it ran year round, and now it's just seasonal. And so I think back then with the being more water, it's like this landscape when it's got a ton of water on it is gorgeous. It's just amazing how, especially in my area, like in the, I guess you want to call it, high desert subalpine, like it comes alive. And you would think if you visited this area during monsoon season, you're like, dude, these are $1 million properties because everything's so gorgeous. But then after that, you get into the dry season and it looks quite different. So the dry season still has some beauty, but nothing like when it's wet. But this year it looks like the monsoon, unfortunately, is going to be a little lacking. It's going to be not as strong. And with having to wait 6 months for the perk tests, for my septic, I'm kind of in a holding period. I can't really do much in my place. And I don't want to sit around there all summer if it's just going to be hot because, what I would do is I'd go out and work a little bit in the morning, but then you just sit in your air conditioner the rest of the summer, which is kind of boring, or the rest of the day. So I think I'm going to go to Colorado and go fly fish and just go there and all that stuff. And so, yeah, grow tree organics. Brandon was saying the grasses here used to be the horse's belly, like past the horse's belly. That's what I was reading about too in a lot of these diaries from the Williamson Valley area. They said before the sheep and cattle ranching took hold up here, like the grasses were as far as I can see, and we didn't have the Rocky Mountain junipers, which those I guess are the invasive species around here that they grow so much faster than any other tree, and then it kind of takes a lot of resources from the land, especially water, because those junipers just slurp up a ton of water. But prior to the land being altered due to the overgrazing back in the day, because they said at one point there was like 1 million sheep up here, and I don't know how many cattle they had going, but it was way too many for the land. So it changed the land, unfortunately. So, but it's the outdoor South. Long time follower here, 400 acres. Ah, cool. I love the South, man. Alabama's awesome. And yeah, so Brandon, yeah, so the bad management, and I think too, like back then, when they first got here in the late 1800s, they probably didn't have the science that is, has been discovered since, about how if you do like light grazing, it's actually really great for the land. But if you do heavy grazing and destroy the ecosystem, then you think how long it took for this ecosystem to get going and have the cryptobiotic soil really take hold and all the tall grasses really go. And I don't know if we'll ever see that again, because the ecosystem has been altered so much. Now, a lot of these areas that used to have cattle ranches are now being sold off because a lot of these ranches are scaling down in size. And so, like in my area where I'm at, it used to be part of the Double O Ranch. And they sold, I think, 200,000 acres or something like that. And so hopefully, maybe on a small scale, like my place and other places for people that are moving in there, maybe we can do our own little regreening projects of the desert, and like you guys should follow Grow Tree Organics. Brandon's channel is really good. He's really come a long way with what he's doing at his place. So, and he's got some really good knowledge on what to do when it comes to the high desert. So check out his channel for sure. But I think that, on a small scale that we like, pockets can come back as people move into the area. Because I think a lot of people are interested in that. And it's fun to see like the results of your efforts, like when I put in those rock check dams after just like a couple of rains, you could see like 4 inches more of soil on one side than the other side. So it's starting to back things up, which is what I want, and flatten out the land so that the water spreads out. But overall, I couldn't be more pleased with Northern Arizona. I mean, it's got a great variety of terrain, and then what I like about it is there's this feature called the Mogollon Rim, And from Flagstaff to Sedona, you actually drive down the Mogollon Rim. You go through Oak Creek Canyon, and on the way down is when you're going down this big geological structure that goes on for like 200 miles in Arizona. So that geological structure, you literally have two weather zones. You got one weather zone down here, and then another weather zone up here. So you can bounce back and forth and get really good weather throughout, you know, the entire year, which is awesome. And I like that you don't have to drive real far to access, you know, a different weather pattern. So Bingus, what's going on? Yep, things are going good here. Just enjoying the river views. Looking upstream here. Then down over here. That's from camp, and then this little one has been having fun at camp, just basically eating everything in sight. You know, sticks, rocks. Well, not rocks, but definitely sticks, and you know, grass, and you name it. She's a puppy. You know, it is what it is. But and she's sleeping back in the truck with me. Even though she smells a little bad, it's kind of starting to wear off, which is good. And so I had her back in the truck with me last night. She was real happy about that because I think she was missing being in the truck topper and sleeping there. But we're just going to work through the puppiness. And, you know, she's great when we're at the property. But this trip has helped me get a good parameter on where she's at and what I need to work on with her going forward. And I think also getting her into some classes, just some training classes to get some baseline stuff worked out will be great. Man, we're really getting a lot of flies around here now. It's been nice the past couple of days because there's been 0 mosquitoes and 0 flies, but they just showed up today. So I think that's our cue to get rolling back to our place. And then when I get back there too, I'm going to pick up my boat because there are some places in Colorado I want to hit that are lakes that if I get out in the center of them, I will get massive trout, like massive trout. And you know, that's what I want to do. You can't even get out there with a normal fly rod, so it doesn't matter if I'm doing tenkara or normal fly. That's so far out in the middle that you'd have to go do that. So, all right, everybody, I think that's it for today. I just wanted to check in with y'all. I won't have a video because I'm still kind of filming, and I didn't film a bunch yesterday. It was kind of more of a chill day at camp, but I did get a lot of footage of the horses and then Meadow interacting with them, which was really cool. And then a little bit of fishing footage, but it's just I haven't had the camera go on when I've caught the fish, so I've had more just pictures of the fish that I've got. But still having a great time. And when we go back home, it'll only be for a couple days just to get the Tundra into the shop. And then once we get it into the shop and have a few things done around the property, then we're going to head back out. So, all right, Brandon. Yeah, man, you take it easy as well. And look forward to your next video, brother. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll probably have a new video for you tomorrow, and then do a live stream from the property or something like that. Just kind of show you what's going on around there. All right. Thanks. Have a good day. See ya.